In a city like Sydney, it's full of diverse cultures, and what you'll notice if you go to any A-League game is that the supporter culture is a real mix of English, European, South American styles, and Tifo was just something that we always wanted to incorporate into our home end.
Graham Arnold, after a game, who talked about the impact the Tifos had on his players. I don't think under him they ever lost a game when we'd done a Tifo for it, so that record should speak for itself.
2009-2010, the Cove put together their first ever Tifo crew. So as a group of sort of about 30-40 lads, the objective was to produce Tifos, the best Tifos in Australia, on a consistent basis. And from that season, it's been something that we've always done. Some
of the larger ones that you plan for ages can take 8 months. So big ones like the one we did at the SCG for the Derby. That was a very long process to make Australia's biggest Tifo. It ended up being 60 metres wide and about 35 metres high, so that was at least 4 or 5 times bigger than anything else recorded in this country.
That thing was huge. The amount of paint, time and effort that people put into that was just unbelievable. And to pull it off, and well, it was a long time frame for what we did, and it was just very, very big.
There's a lot of sense of relief. You know, you put that much effort into something, and even on the day when you're practicing deploying it, you're trying to get it looking just right or right in the centre of the bay, there are still so many things that can go wrong. I remember one story when we did the Graham Arnold King from the roof, and it's the first time we'd ever chucked anything off the roof like that, and when we first did it, it completely tore off the top, tore in a perfect little strip off the top and fell straight to the ground. So we had to rush to put more eyelets in and reinforce that strength so that it didn't fall, and then as soon as that went down and stayed up and didn't tear, and as soon as it was pulled back up, that's when I could breathe a nice sigh of relief.
Because that originally wasn't intended to go off the roof. Originally we were planning on ways to pull it off and ways to stand it up and whatnot, and just to be able to do it from the roof was something very special. My favourite one ever is one called Welcome to Heaven. So it was kind of the first in Australia to have multiple moving elements. So it was a pullover of the gates of heaven, and then the gates parted, and there's a big picture of St. Michael, and it said, "Rid yourself of envy." And I guess one of the reasons why I loved that so much was because the occasion, so we won our first ever premiership that day. It was a Tifo that was in direct response to a Melbourne Victory Tifo, which was Welcome to Hell. And just kind of all of the stress, the occasion of the day, all of the build-up, and then for it to come off perfectly was just the icing on the cake. The other one that's really memorable is a Tifo that we did called Rise Above the Rest. It was for a semi-final that we were in, and we had the letters of Sydney, and they were attached to helium balloons, and as the players came out, it raised the letters, and of course it had the message banner, Rise Above the Rest. The reason why I like it so much is very simple imagery, but with a lot of the things that we do, the Cove kind of pushes the barriers when it comes to Tifos. We do things that are really creative that no other home end will try, and you know, till this day no one's done anything similar.